It's imperative that we address the Red Sea crisis head-on. This isn't just another conflict, it's a ticking time bomb that has far-reaching consequences for all of us, from the groceries we buy to the global economy at large. So, here's the deal: the Red Sea, a crucial shipping route connecting Europe and Asia, is currently in the throes of a crisis that's not only threatening political stability but is also sending shockwaves through our economic system. Central banks may have patted themselves on the back for taming inflation, but guess what? It's back, and it's wearing a new face: the Red Sea crisis. Why does it matter, you ask? Well, picture this: around 15% of all maritime traffic between Europe and Asia passes through the Red Sea. It's not just a scenic waterway, it's the lifeline for the transportation of goods, especially crude oil. And we all know how crucial oil is in keeping our economies ticking. Recent missile strikes in Yemen have jolted this vital route, leading to a doubling of ocean freight rates in just 4 weeks. This is not some distant problem, it's hitting us where it hurts the most: our pockets. The conflict in the Red Sea region is casting a dark shadow over the supply of crude oil from Gulf exporters to Western markets. Brent crude and WTI prices are on a roller coaster ride, jumping about $2.50 per barrel since the beginning of January. WTI crude has hiked nearly $2.50 to $3 per barrel in just 2 weeks. Why? Fear. Fear of the conflict spreading, and fear of an uncertain oil supply. Now, let's talk real-world consequences. Rising energy costs are bad news for any economic recovery, and they're a breeding ground for inflation. But it doesn't stop there. The increased transportation costs are like throwing fuel on the inflation fire. Container rates have shot up, impacting the cost of imported goods. And guess who pays the price? That's right, you, the consumers. And here's a practical example. Tesla, the electric car maestro, had to hit the brakes at its German plant because it couldn't get the parts it needed due to delays caused by the diversion of container vessels. That's not just a hiccup, it's a full-blown disruption in the supply chain. But hold on, it gets worse. Shipping companies are now rerouting approximately 70% of oil, gas, and chemical tankers around Africa, tacking on an extra 2 weeks of travel time and additional costs. Imagine the impact on the transportation of goods and the havoc it's wreaking on supply chains. This isn't some theoretical scenario, it's happening now. And what about you, the consumer? Well, brace yourselves for higher grocery prices. The extended travel time and increased shipping costs associated with going around the Cape of Good Hope are like a stealth tax on everything you buy. It's not just about the inconvenience of waiting a bit longer for your avocado toast ingredients, it's about the potential for lasting damage to the global economy. Now, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. The longer the Red Sea crisis continues, the more likely it is to escalate into a larger conflict. And guess what that means? Higher prices for you, me, and everyone else worldwide. A permanent $10 increase in the price of a barrel of oil could add 0.2 percentage points to UK inflation and nearly 0.3 percentage points to global inflation in the current year. That's not pocket change, that's a significant dent in our wallets. The impact on economic growth isn't a mere statistic, it's a real and tangible threat. A 0.07% shrink in global output and a 0.09% shrink in the UK alone might sound like small numbers, but in economic terms, they're substantial. It means fewer jobs, slower progress, and a general tightening of our collective belts. So, what's the call to action here? It's simple: pay attention. The Red Sea crisis isn't just a geopolitical spectacle, it's a potential economic catastrophe. We can't afford to be passive spectators. We need to demand solutions, engage in informed discussions, and push our leaders to address this crisis head-on. In conclusion, the Red Sea crisis is not just a blip on the global radar, it's a storm that could wreak havoc on our economies, our daily lives, and our future. It's time to wake up, take notice, and demand action. The consequences are too significant to ignore, and the stakes are higher than ever. Please go ahead liking, subscribing, and sharing with friends to support our content. The information is for general purposes. Viewers should conduct research and consult professionals for financial decisions.